Welcome to series 2 of male reproductive system. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about seminal vesicles. Okay, so seminal vesicles are the accessory sex organs which will help the primary sex organs like testes. So in this lecture I will break down this into three topics. One is structure of seminal vesicles, properties and functions of seminal vesicles, and third one is functions of seminal vesicles. So let us see the structure of seminal vesicles. Okay, so seminal vesicles are the paired glands which are located on the either side of the prostate gland. This is prostate gland, and these are seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles. This is urinary bladder. I hope you know what is this. This is ureter, and this structure is called as the elongated structure from testis is called as vas deferens, and this is testis. What is the structure present above the testis? Epididymis, right? Epididymis. And what is this one, students? From prostate gland you have urethra which is connected to the penis. So this is urethra, and this is penis. So our seminal vesicles situated on the either side of the prostate gland. So in the structure you have to write they are paired glands present behind, posterior side of the urinary bladder, behind the urinary bladder on either side of the prostate gland. This is prostate gland, on either side of the prostate gland. Okay, so these seminiferous tubules are irregular in shape. So their shape is irregular. They are irregular in shape. And they contains mucous epithelial cells. So what does mucous epithelial cells will do? They will secrete mucus. Okay. So these are the structure of seminal vesicles. These are the paired glands which are present on the either side of the prostate gland behind the urinary bladder, and these vesicles are present in the abdominal cavity. So entire urinary bladder and seminal vesicles present in the abdomen of the male. Okay, so they are irregular in shape and they have mucous epithelial cells, and those mucous epithelial cells will secrete mucus. Then we can discuss about properties of seminal fluid. Okay, so they will secrete a fluid, and that fluid is called as seminal fluid. If I take seminal fluid, 60% of seminal fluid is secreted by the seminal vesicles. Okay, 60% of seminal fluid is secreted by seminal vesicles. Let us see the properties and composition of seminal fluid. Okay, so second one is properties and functions of seminal fluid. Properties and composition of seminal fluid. So properties include volume. Seminal fluid is almost 60% of total semen. 60% of total semen is seminal fluid. Then the pH is alkaline in pH. So pH is alkaline. So what is alkaline pH, students? Greater than 7 is called alkaline pH. So this is one of the important property of seminal vesicles. They will provide alkaline pH. Okay, so they will provide alkaline pH. Then viscosity. So they are semi-viscous. Seminal fluid is semi-viscous in nature. Okay, that's it. Then composition we will study in detail in the semen topic. Okay, composition can be studied later. later. Okay, don't worry about composition, that we can discuss later. Then functions of seminal vesicles. What are the functions of seminal vesicles? Functions of, third one, functions of seminal vesicles. So the main function of seminal vesicles are of three types. Functions are of three types. Nutrition to the sperms, it will provide nutrition to the sperms, and they will clot the semen, and they also helps in fertilization. Nutritive function, clotting of the semen, and fertilization of the in the process of fertilization. So coming to the nutrition, semen is composed of fructose, and fructose will give energy to the sperms. Sperms need energy, right? Once after ejaculation, once after sperms entering into female genital tract, they need energy, right? And that energy is provided by the fructose, and fructose is present in the seminal vesicle. Why seminal vesicles has fructose instead of glucose? Can anyone think, students? Because glucose can be easily metabolized by the bacteria. When we keep the semen inside the female genital tract, already female genital tract has many bacteria, and that bacteria will eat the glucose. So rather than keeping glucose, it is better to keep fructose, right? Fructose cannot be eaten by bacteria. So that is why seminal vesicles has fructose. Okay? Then clotting of the semen. After ejaculation, semen will immediately clot. The fluid stage of the semen will convert into semi-solid state. Just like imagine milk and curd. Milk is fluid in nature, right? But after, when it becomes curd, it will become solid. Just like that, semen will clot after coming outside the body. And why semen clots like this? Is there any advantage of clotting of semen? Obviously there is an advantage. When the semen present inside the female genital tract, if it is like a water will ooze out, right? And sperms cannot stay inside the female genital tract for a long time. What if the semen is in solid state? So they can remain inside the genital tract for a longer period, right? So there is a high chance of becoming fertilized, and there is a high chance of becoming female pregnant. So that is why immediately after ejaculation, semen will clot, and this clot is formed due to formation of fibrin. Fibrin is formed from the fibrinogen. So fibrinogen is present in the seminal fluid. So seminal fluid will contain fibrinogen, that is very essential for the clot of the semen. Okay. So last and final is fertilization. So this seminal fluid contains prostaglandins. And what is the role of PGs? Prostaglandins will do two important functions in the female genital tract. One, they will initiate reverse peristaltic movements of uterus. Reverse peristaltic movement of uterus. That means uterus will start absorbing the sperms. So prostaglandins will enhance the uterus to absorb. Reverse peristaltic movement means it will start absorbing the fluids that came. So female reproductive system, that means uterus will start absorbing the sperms which are entered. Okay. So they will initiate reverse peristaltic movements. And other important function is they will increase the receptors receiving capacity of the cervical mucus. So they will increase the receiving capacity of the cervical mucus. So prostaglandins will enhance the mucus to absorb more. That's it. So these are the two important functions in fertilization. They will initiate reverse peristaltic movement, and they also increase the receiving capacity of the cervical mucus of the female genital tract to receive semen from the semen. That's it. So these are the functions of seminal vesicles. One is nutritive function. In nutritive function, seminal vesicle composed of fructose, which is very essential for the energy. Instead of glucose, we have fructose because fructose cannot be easily digested by the bacteria, and fructose also provides energy to the sperms once they came outside the male's body. Then clotting of the semen. Clotting of semen is very essential because it will clot the semen into a semi-solid structure so that it can stay in the female genital tract for a long time. Then you have fertilization. Fertilization is mediated by prostaglandins. Prostaglandins will enhance either reverse peristaltic movement or increase the receiving capacity of the cervical mucus. So this is the topic of seminal vesicles. Thank you.